Test, test. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Campbell Sports Center and a Wednesday night matchup between your Sarah Lawrence Griffins and the St. Joseph's Long Island Golden Eagles. This is going to be an exciting one. These teams played a close game in the first half of the season, so let's talk about both of these teams. First off, as we see the starting lineup here, but first off, your Sarah Lawrence Griffins are on an absolute historic run. They are on fire. They have won the last 9 games out of the last 10, and they're doing so by pushing the ball and putting the ball in the bucket. They're averaging 75.8 points per game over the last 10 games, and they rank first in offensive efficiency in the conference as a result. So this is exciting basketball. This is fun basketball to watch as a neutral, and especially as a Sarah Lawrence fan. And sorry, as I thought there was a brief technical difficulty, but we are all set. And as I was saying, Sarah Lawrence is absolutely on fire, and they're doing so through great offense. I know the team wants to improve their defense as well, but either way, it's been effective. And how have they been doing this? They have been doing this through some of the most exciting freshmen you will see in the conference and maybe even in the country, as we have Sarah Terrio, a name that you will hear a lot from this game and future games. She leads the team in points and rebounds. The opposing coach even said she is one of the most skilled players in the conference as a freshman. Then, next up, Jade Ing Stewart, who does a little bit of everything. She's top 3 in the team on points, on rebounds, on blocks, on steals, pretty much on every single front she contributes. And she plays some of the cleanest defense that you will see. I want you to pay attention to the way that she defends. She doesn't back down. She contests because she is in the top 3 for blocks and steals. So she's active, but she doesn't foul much. She's smart, and she picks the right battles. And then lastly, I want to shout out Jersana Moore, who leads the team in 3-point field goal percentage and steals a minute. She can single-handedly force turnovers. In the backcourt, as we saw last game, she put so much ball pressure by herself, it forced a turnover. She's always active. She's always quick. Nobody can really go by her easily. And I want to give an extra shout out because it is Jersana Moore's birthday tomorrow. Hopefully the Griffins can give her the best gift of all with a win today and an impressive performance from Jersana Moore. So we have 3 fantastic freshmen. So if you thought that this Sarah Lawrence Griffins team was going to go away anytime soon, you'd be wrong. This is a young core, an exciting team for years to come, as they now sit 4th in the conference. They have never made the playoffs, not a single time, and they have already put themselves in position to not only make the playoffs, but potentially also host a game, as we will get ready for the national anthem.
Good evening and welcome to Sarah Lawrence College and the Campbell Sports Center for tonight's Skyline women's basketball matchup featuring the visiting St. Joseph's University Golden Eagles and, of course, your Sarah Lawrence College Griffins. Before we begin play tonight, we'd like to quickly remind you that Sarah Lawrence College, St. Joseph's University, and
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, as we meet our starting lineups. First, the Golden Eagles. The junior, LeBron. She likes to shoot it from three. She leads the team in three-point field goals made. Next up is Eichner, their point guard, their main facilitator. Next is the freshman Larby, impressive rebounder. Fourth up is Andriachi, one of the only seniors on this team. We round things out with Barone, the leading scorer for the Golden Eagles. And now, your Sarah Lawrence Griffins. Number 2, Gabby Hudson, experienced, an incredible scorer. Number 5, Sarah Terrio, who I was just talking about, one of the most impressive freshmen in the country. Number 12, Colleen Coughlin, experienced senior, doesn't turn the ball over and finds her teammates. Jade Ing Stewart, number 24, does a little bit of everything, as I was saying before. Points, rebounds, blocks, steals, and we round things out with senior Kayla Dortch, who brings a lot of experience to this team, can rebound the ball well. Good post presence, as the coaches will prepare their final words before we start this game. And this game is a bit of a game of opposites. St. Joe's Long Island, one of the best teams defensively in the conference. They don't allow the other team to make a lot of points, whereas Sarah Lawrence leads the conference in offensive efficiency. They put the ball in the bucket. Furthermore, they like to push the pace, whereas St. Joe's Long Island likes to slow things down. And whereas St. Joe's Long Island pretty much sets up in the same defensive format every single time with minor tweaks, your Sarah Lawrence Griffins come out with different defensive looks on pretty much every occasion. Whether it's a full court press here or there, whether it's zone, different types of zone, person to person. Sarah Lawrence defensively shows a lot of variety, but the consistent core structure of St. Joe's Long Island zone has been very effective for them. Will it be effective today? As the cheerleaders have finally returned to campus to support this historic Sarah Lawrence women's basketball team, a team that has already broken the program record for wins, and it's still January. The Griffins sit firmly in 4th position in the conference, and they have a 2-game lead over teams sitting 5th and 6th. As we are still getting sorted, apparently, to start this game. But now we will actually head to the center circle for the opening tip. Griffins versus the Eagles. Larby tips it to Andriachi for the first possession. Eichner, the point guard, leading the way. Larby at the elbow. Andriachi uses the screen. Still nothing going for the Eagles. Looking for that inside pass. That's Barone. That's their leading scorer. She goes up. That's no good. Larby for the rebound. And that's what you can expect from the Golden Eagles. Larby, the team's leading rebounder, gets that offensive board and puts it right back in. And here's that 2-1-2 zone that the Golden Eagles are famous for. As we got a couple of swings, and now an interior pass from Sarah Terrio, tries to reaching Stewart, but Andriachi read the script the whole way, going all the way to the other side. There's got to be a call, and it is an offensive foul. Colleen Coughlin, one of the most elite drawers of offensive foul. I don't know if that's an official title that you can gain, but if there was an official title for the amount of offensive fouls you can draw, Coughlin would be that title holder. Here she is swinging it to Hudson, who drives, finds Dortch underneath, kicks it back out. Baseline, cross-court pass to Ing Stewart, doesn't reach the intended receiver, just a little too high, even for Ing Stewart. And now the Golden Eagles with an opportunity to expand on their lead. Eichner. Same as last time, Larby on the elbow. Now it's LeBron. She likes to shoot the three, but that's too strong. Larby with yet another offensive rebound, gives it right back to LeBron. Too strong again. Andriacci now with the rebound. And LeBron gives it up to Eichner. 2 3-point attempts from LeBron, no good. But 2 offensive rebounds as Dortch reaches in on the interior pass. It's called on the foul. It's the first foul of the game. It'll be an inbounds under the basket. Golden Eagles line up 4 corners of the paint. Spread out, Barone gets it to Eichner. Well defended by Ing Stewart. LeBron contested by Colleen Coughlin, but Andriacci on the offensive rebound cleans up the board and puts it right back in. This is what the Eagles want to do. They want to crash that offensive glass. Coach Connolly is proud of the way this team has rebounded, and they've started off rebounding well as they tip the pass. Intercepted, and they go on the transition. But as I mentioned before the game, the Golden Eagles not known for their transition play, and that's Exhibit A. As that one goes out of bounds, doesn't reach LeBron for the go-ahead pass. Now Moore, the freshman, is it up to Coughlin. Cross-court pass to Hudson, who drives into the paint. Now there's Terrio for 3. That's too strong, but Ing Stewart's there to maybe pick up the pieces. It's a scramble. She somehow gets it out to Moore. Moore has to shoot. That's too strong. A little tip, but ends up in Barone's hands. 2 3-point attempts. No good for the Griffins. Coughlin on LeBron. As we also will see a lot of off-ball movement from these Golden Eagles. Moore on Andriacci. Andriacci nowhere near the basket. Great defense from Moore. And here's the transition from the Griffins. They want to push the ball. There goes Hudson. And up and in. First points for the Griffins. Griffins 2, Eagles 4. That's what they want to do. Coach Rather saying before the game, they want to push the pace. Not surprising. They have some of the most transition points in the conference. Barone at the top of the key, trying a right-sided drive. That's no good, and here go the Griffins. Hudson taking the lead. Out to Moore, dribbling baseline, strong, floater, but that's short. And Eichner picks it up. Their turn to go quick. Inside pass to Barone with Hudson on her. Hudson can't make that shot too difficult as that drops for Barone. Her first points of the game. Barone averaging 14.4 points for the Golden Eagles. Their leading scorer. Rosanna Moore, open three-pointer, that's too short. As the shots from deep not landing for the Griffins. And a quick go-ahead pass to Larby. As Larby lays that up and in, and it's 8-2 for the visitors. As that was a transition bucket, but not from the team you'd expect. Here goes Moore. Jump stop. Out to Ing Stewart. She tries from deep. Also too strong. As the Griffins still struggling from deep. But can they get a defensive stop here? Andriacci also tries from deep. That doesn't go, and now there's an advantage. Ing Stewart in transition. Lays it off to Hudson, but just a little too low. Hudson looking for the pass, finds Coughlin. Now she tries her shot from deep, and that one finally rattles in as Coach Rather quickly calls a timeout. 30-second timeout. You saw him perhaps at the bottom of the screen. jumping up and down to grab that timeout before it was inbounded and it was no longer possible. So now all of a sudden, 3-point game, many 3-point attempts, and that was the first one that went in. Golden Eagles scoring all of their points from under the basket, many of them off of an offensive rebound. And that was a quick timeout, and we will be back in action in a couple of seconds already. As Audrey Madison enters the game for Jersana Moore. Madison, who had a season night against Yeshiva, scoring 13 points, shooting 75% from three. And here comes the full court press from the Griffins. Can they make it difficult on the Golden Eagles? They back off a bit. It's Madison on Andriachi. Barone on the wing. Inside pass to Larby, but that passing lane was made Sarah Terrio's personal property. She read it, gets the steal. Turnover, Golden Eagles. Opportunity. Coughlin from deep. Other wing doesn't go, but Sarah Terrio with a tough rebound. She goes up and gets her own rebound once again. Surrounded by defenders, eventually travels as almost three Golden Eagles collapse on her. She had nowhere to go, was trying to keep hold of that ball, and ultimately travels. So still a 3-point game. Here's Andriachi to Vitali. Eichner to Andriachi. Looking for that inside pass, as they often like to do, and there is Sarah Terrio, reaches for the ball. They call her on the reach. There was an opportunity there to sneak up on Barone and poke that ball free, but just a bit too much contact on the arm and the hand as they're struggling to inbound, and that's a 5-second violation. Turnover, Golden Eagles. Great inbounding defense from your Griffins. Everything was covered. No way for Vitali to go. And Griffins will take over. Now Hudson dribbling to the corner, trying a new lane of attack, but it's poked free by Barone. And now it's Golden Eagles on the other end. Andriachi driving left, nothing going. Vitali tries one from deep, and the bank is open for Vitali. As that one goes in off the glass. You always wonder if that's intentional or not. Vitali will definitely say it was. Coughlin, cross-court pass to Hudson. Now Madison thinks about a 3-point shot. Instead, swings it to Coughlin. Back. A lot of cross-court passes here. Now Coughlin open in the corner. And that one somehow doesn't go. Halfway down, bounces right out. As the rim is not proving helpful for the Griffins. 6-point lead for the Golden Eagles. Madison on Vitali, who just made that 3-pointer. Andriachi now. Eichner looking for that inside pass. Can they get it there? It's all covered by Ing Stewart and Hudson. Andriachi tries a long two, and that goes. He sinks it. As they say, if the inside pass doesn't work, we'll just shoot it from the outside. 8-point lead, Golden Eagles. Griffins, again, attacking from the corner. Hudson had to pick up her dribble, is now in a little bit of trouble, but finds Coughlin. They call her on the travel. The small steps when she got that handoff, proving fatal for that possession. Turnover Griffins as they ease off the pressure. Dortch comes in the game. Moore back in the game. No full court pressure. Relying on that half court defense. Once again, the first pass goes to Larby. Vitali from deep. She's already hit one, but that doesn't go. Hudson with the rebound, and she's pushing it. The Golden Eagles recover, but they leave Terrio open for a second. She doesn't take the shot, though. Instead, Hudson tries one from deep. That's too strong, but Moore's there for the rebound. Ing Stewart now tries one from deep. That doesn't hit anything but the backboard, unfortunately. Golden Eagles with a chance in transition. Della Porta, who just entered the game, doesn't get the layup, and Hudson, with an impressive vertical, tipped it away from the rebounding Barone, but can't keep it in bounds instead. For a sec, I was hopeful there that Moore was right and it was Griffin's ball, but instead it is, in fact, Golden Eagles ball. Eichner at the top. Gives you some off-ball screens on both sides of the court. Larby, inside pass is not there, but the long three is, and on the rebound, it's Larby there to answer once again, but she can't get her shot to go. A little too strong. Vitali inside to Barone, but there were Sarah Lawrence hands in between, making that shot a little bit more difficult. Now Terrio pushing Hudson, going right at the paint, and they call her on a travel. Too eager. Couple of early travel calls already. And Sarah Lawrence Griffin's only at 5 points. You don't see this often. An effective offense, a quick offense. A team that usually ups the pace. 9 minutes into this first quarter. Still struggling to find that bucket. Inside pass to Larby with more on her. And there's a foul. Push. As that interior pass arrived. It's a third team foul for the Sarah Lawrence Griffins. Golden Eagles not in the bonus yet, so this will remain an inbounds under the basket. Vitali on the wing. Eichner comes off a screen, gives it back to Vitali, who tries yet another three. This time the Griffins can rebound the three that was too short, as we're under a minute left in this first quarter. As Vitali tried to bite for that, but Hudson retains. Here comes that high trap that they like to set, but the Griffins trying to pass their way through. The last pass not arriving at Darby Staten, who just entered the game. 6-foot freshman. And that's another possession without a score for the Griffins. A lot of off-ball movement here. On the wing, it's Eichner looking for a shot. Shot is too strong, and Hudson is going. 10 seconds left. They want to take the last shot here, but they want it to be a good one. Jasana Moore, who's hit a lot of three-pointers, doesn't get that one to go. And now the last shot is for the St. Joe Long Island Golden Eagles, but that half-court shot proves too difficult. So the score remains Golden Eagles 13, Griffins 5. Perhaps a slightly unexpected score if you just look at Griffin's offensive numbers. But then again, if you look at the Golden Eagles' defensive numbers, which are very impressive, this is perhaps not as much of a surprise. The last time these two teams played, the first half of conference play, Sarah Lawrence won 69-64. They also trailed at the half by 6, but then brought it back and won it by 5. It was the closest game the Sarah Lawrence Griffins have played so far this season. Will this be a close one too? So far, unless the Golden Eagles pull away, which maybe I'm biased, but that seems unlikely, this has all the makings of being another close one. The Golden Eagles currently on the outside looking into playoff spots. They sit at 7th. And this win would do a lot for their playoff hopes. Whereas on the other side, if the Griffins win this, their playoff spot is almost basically secured. It would be difficult to see a world where the Griffins would not make the playoffs if they win this game. But they trail by 8. They need to find some offense. What do they find? Now Hudson going up. That's too short. Squeezes in between the rim and the backboard. And the Griffins remain stuck at 5. Eichner starting to play. LeBron on the wing. Now it's Williams who just entered the game. Low pass to Larby. He squares up, but Hudson reads that script. Gets the steal and gets fouled immediately by Larby. Good defensive possession there by the Griffins. Hudson aware of where the Golden Eagles want to put the ball. Intercepting that pass. Now Ing Stewart to Coughlin. And finds Terrio underneath. Dump off to Hudson. She likes to work in the paint. She does work in the paint. And they call a jump ball. When Hudson went up, Golden Eagles player had 2 hands on the ball. That's a jump. This time the possession arrow favors the visitors. LeBron dribbling it up this time. And no, it's not that LeBron. This one can score the basket in her own right. Eichner trying a left drive, finding nothing. Now Andriacci trying a move in the paint, and that one banks in as the interior passes are working for the Golden Eagles. 10-point lead to the visitors. Coughlin, Ing Stewart inside to Hudson. Trying to find a way through that zone. Now it's Dortch who tries one from 3. That's a little too strong. Dortch, who doesn't take many three-pointers, but can shoot it from 3. If you leave her 2 open. Williams now down low, trying to make a move on Dortch, but that inside pass again, this time well defended by Terrio, but the second inside pass to Andriacci, the senior, working for the Golden Eagles. 12-point lead to the team in blue. What does the Griffins' answer look like? Down low pass to Terrio. This is where she's dangerous, but she kicks it back out to Coughlin. Now Ing Stewart eyeing one from 3. Instead takes one from the top. That's a little too strong, but Terrio and Hudson were there for the rebound. Somehow it ricochets away. And Eichner picks it up for the Golden Eagles. Williams at the top. Screens for Eichner. Kicks it back out to LeBron for 3. And Hudson with the rebound, and here they go. Coach Rather wanting them to push the ball, but the Golden Eagles recover quickly, making sure they're back in defensive transition. They know the Griffins like to push it, but there is Kayla Dortch. After the miss by Ing Stewart, Dortch climbs the ladder for that rebound, and on the putback draws the foul. And the Griffins finally have another opportunity to put the ball in the basket. But Dortch misses the first. Dortch, a 57% free throw shooter. Splits the pair. Finally, a point for the Griffins. And they force a turnover immediately. That full court pressure proving too much for Andriacci, who couldn't find her teammate and instead passes it out of bounds. Some extra hope for the Griffins. But they still need to find an answer to this zone defense. Ing Stewart on the wing, going baseline, inside pass to Dortch, midi jumper, that hits the back iron, and now the Golden Eagles are out in transition with LeBron. Looking for a move, tries herself, and that goes. Did a good job holding on to that ball, securing it under her arm, and then going up strong. 13-point lead to the visitors. Colleen Coughlin, cross-court pass, Ing Stewart. Baseline, Terrio. And Dortch inside. Terrio trying to penetrate. Finding Stewart on the baseline, but nothing going. 7 seconds left. Colleen Coughlin tries one from the top of the key. Didn't seem like a rhythm shot for her as that one goes out of bounds. But still, that full court pressure. Can the Griffins force a turnover? And Andriacci has to pick up the ball and finds her way to LeBron. 3 seconds left, and after a tip by Hudson, it'll stay with the Golden Eagles as they just about get it over half court. Dangerous, risky pass there. The full court press from the Griffins, making things difficult. Eichner slowing things down. They have the 13-point lead. There's no reason to speed up. Andriacci tries one from deep. That hits nothing but the backboard, but it's a perfect pass in a way to Barone, the team's leading scorer, who can just lay it back in for an easy 2. Nobody there on the rebounds. As Stewart drives and then travels. Yet another travel for the Griffins, who don't seem comfortable in this game quite yet. There was an opening there, perhaps for a pass to Terrio instead of drive, but Stewart forced to pick up the ball and then shuffle the feet and traveled. And that's the 10th turnover for the Griffins already. But really, so far, it's been the rebounding. Golden Eagles have 20 rebounds and the Griffins only 13. And we're only halfway through the second quarter. It wouldn't be a great rebounding game if you get out-rebounded by 7 at the end of the game, let alone the second quarter. So the Griffins need to find an answer on the glass, especially those offensive rebounds, because the Golden Eagles have only made a single 3-point attempt, 1 out of 9 so far. So they're not lighting it up from deep. But a lot of those 3-point attempts are turning into easy layups. For Larby, for Andriacci, for Barone. And the Griffins usually have at least one player, one of the main rebounders, covered well, but there always seems to be another Golden Eagle around to pick up the board and put it back in. Here's that full court pressure. Andriacci dribbling her way through. Goes to Eichner. Now Williams at the wing. Looking for a pass inside. Instead goes Andriacci, who gives it right back to Williams. And then Moore is there to make things difficult, but somehow Golden Eagles hang on. They only have 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Do they know they need to shoot? 4 seconds. 3. Andriacci to the rim, too strong. It grazes the rim. Do the Griffins know this? There's 4 Griffins, but somehow the one Golden Eagle gets the rebound and kicks it out. Finally, after another 3-point miss, the Griffins reel it in. Griffins getting lucky that these 3-point attempts are not going in, but unluckily for them, the refs see that Jersana Moore traveled as she initiated the dribble, and yet another turnover for the Griffins. Golden Eagles. I think Stewart on Vitale. Barone looking at her teammates. Eichner in the corner. Inside pass, Andriacci, and a handoff to Barone, but a travel as she received the pass. Took too many steps. And the Griffins catch a break. So if that wasn't a travel, it was an open layup. Moore on the wing. Tries a midi jumper, that's too strong. And again, the Golden Eagles are there to rebound. Eichner quarterbacking this play. Screens in the center. Now a screen from Barone for Eichner. as Jersana Moore gets called on the foul. I said too many hands on her. It was tight defense. Sometimes tight defense can result in a personal foul, as it does here. Vitali set to inbounds. Gets it to Eichner. Now Spinopoulos and Madison into the game. What can they offer the Griffins? Barone. Eichner uses Barone's screen and kicks it out to Vitali, who tries one from deep. That's too strong. But again, it's the Golden Eagles on the offensive board, and Vitali tries again. This time it's Spinopoulos that can pick up the pieces and push it forward for the Griffins. Hudson trying to weave her way through, finds that short jumper, and usually that's a shot that Hudson likes to take and usually makes. This one rattling off as the rim just will not cooperate for the Griffins. And after the Barone miss, the Williams lay, it's 23 for the Golden Knights and 6 for the Griffins. A team known for their offense being kept to 1 point in the second quarter so far. Spinopoulos at the top. They need to find an answer, and after a rogue pass, another turnover for the Griffins. Golden Eagles will have an opportunity to extend their lead even further. Less than 3 minutes left in this second quarter. Ball pressure from the Griffins, but Eichner finds her way through, tries to go all the way, too strong on the layup, but after the tip from Barone, the Griffins as a team corral that rebound. Griffins still looking for an answer to that zone defense. The Golden Eagles will let you shoot the three, but so far the Griffins haven't shot the three well, only making one. So they need to find another way through, and there Eichner with the ball pressure. Ing Stewart couldn't get it over her. The hands intercepting the ball. And now Eichner at the top. LeBron tries one from deep. That's too strong. And after the Williams tip, that's Griffin's ball. As Spinopoulos jumped up for that one, making the rebound difficult for the Golden Eagles. Spinopoulos, who is a great hustle player, always goes all out for her team, and is a surprisingly good rebounder for her height. Now, Terrio out to Hudson. He probes the paint. Now Madison, she can shoot it from three. That doesn't go though, but Hudson's there on the rebound and she gets fouled. And that'll be 2 shots for the Griffins. Finally, a chance to put points on the board. This time the Griffins crashing the offensive board, as Hudson can sometimes just levitate in the paint. Doesn't get the first to go, as she somehow caught that ball midair, put it up midair, and drew the contact for the foul and the free throws. And she converts the second. Still only 2 points for the Griffins in this quarter. Keeping up her way through it. Barone now in the corner. Eichner with Spinopoulos on her. Sees the lane. Goes up and over and gets the and one, as Spinopoulos reached in at the last second. But instead of retrieving a cookie or a steal, giving a free cookie in the form of a bonus free throw to the other team. As Eichner gets the 3 points the old-fashioned way. 19-point lead for the Golden Eagles. Who would have expected this? Here comes Coughlin to Hudson. Over to Coughlin again, back to Hudson. Interior drive, here's Madison. Thought about a three, didn't take it. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Hudson weaves her way through, little floater, but yet even that is not going. Nothing falling for the Griffins at the moment. Even the shots that are the signature shots of these Sarah Lawrence Griffins. It's a long season. You have to grind your way through certain games as Barone goes up for the rebound, the layup. Terrio with the rebound. Does she have the answers? Hudson tries another drive, jump stop. Terrio at the top of the key, finds Coughlin. All the way over to Ing Stewart. Is she gonna try a drive? There's less than 1 minute left in this half. Nice little pass, or was it a pass? It finally ends up with Ing Stewart, and she puts it back in. Clean up on aisle paint. Griffins with a much needed floater and 2 points. Cut into that lead just a little bit as there's less than 20 seconds left in this half. Only a second between the game clock and the shot clock. Andriacci goes up and she gets called for the and one with minimal contact, it seemed, but the refs say that there was a bump, and after that lay, the Golden Eagles have an opportunity to make this a 20-point game before the half with 12 seconds left. The Griffins will still have a shot attempt if they work this well. They can't allow another offensive rebound off of the free throw. Andriacci. Too strong on that, but Griffins get a little lucky as Williams can't quite corral the ball inbounds. So it's exactly 10.0 seconds left for the Griffins for one more shot in this half. Can they get to double digits? This is incredible. 3 seconds left. Hudson has to take a shot. You have to take a just about gets it off, but that doesn't go. Perhaps not the shot you were hoping for if you were Coach Rather. And we end this half. Sarah Lawrence Griffins 9, St. Joe Long Island 28. I think it's safe to say that that was probably one of the toughest halves for the Sarah Lawrence Griffins this season, who've been having a historic season so far. Have won 9 out of their last 10. They have been averaging 75.8 points a game in those last 10. That's what makes it so remarkable that they are being held not just to half of that or a third of that, but even less. 9 points for the Griffins. They need to find an answer. It's a long season there. Sometimes the shots don't fall quite your way, but you need to find a different form of an answer. Can some halftime adjustments prove the difference? Can the Griffins claw their way back into this game? That's up next as we'll take a break and potentially come back up here for an interview with one of the coaches. And otherwise, I'll see you in 13 minutes. Thank you for listening. My name is Pete Marston on the call. Sarah Lawrence Griffins 9, St. Joe Long Island Golden Eagles 28. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am joined here by assistant coach for Sarah Lawrence, Jordan Medina. A tough first half.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on what we just saw?
Not the half I was expecting. Granted, I feel like we can tighten up on our defense, especially our rebounding, because the offensive rebounds have been a lot. And also tightening up our offense. I think we're going to try something different in this half and maybe free up a couple more people. So I think that'll help in this half.
Hopefully those adjustments can prove fruitful.
Yes.
And you mentioned rebounding. You are the second leading rebounder in Sarah Lawrence history. So
Yes.
what do you think the Griffins aren't doing right now that they should be doing?
Rebounding. I was in the locker room. I was like, guys, you got to put a body on somebody. Like, we can't be having this. So, I'm definitely that was what I was good at, and that's what I'm a real stickler about.
Gotcha. And now that we enter the second half of the season, you've seen these teams before. The other teams have seen you. Are you sensing that there's been a lot of adjustments since the last game?
Yes, definitely, because I think St. Joe's Long Island was our very first conference game, so they've definitely, did their homework on us, and they came prepared, so we just have to make those adjustments in the second half, and I think we can do that.
Perfect. I hope you do. Well,
Awesome.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
I'll see you down there.
Thanks.
Thank you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Campbell Sports Center as halftime is wrapping up. Less than a minute until we start this game again. The first one, a half for the Griffins to forget. Only 9 points on the board, 28 for the Golden Eagles. The story of the game so far, as assistant coach Jordan Medina said, has been rebounding, mainly rebounding. The Griffins have allowed 12 offensive rebounds in that first half. And in total, the Griffins have been out-rebounded by 6. They've also turned the ball over 6 times more, or 6 more times than the Golden Eagles. So the Golden Eagles are just gaining extra possessions. Neither team is shooting it well from three-point land. Both teams only making 1 out of a dozen or so attempts. But with the adjustments that assistant coach Jordan Medina was talking about, can the Griffins find some offense, find a way through, this zone defense. Now Hudson on the wing, drives, goes through defenders, and gets that to go. Tough bucket from Gabby Hudson to start things off well for the Griffins. Now full court pressure, Terrio trying to poke, but the Golden Eagles find their way through. Now it's Barone who scoops one under. Kayla Dortch for a nice lay on the other end, and they respond immediately. Lead back to 19. Backdoor pass was intended for Terrio, instead hit by Dortch. A little bit of miscommunication. These Griffins aren't exactly in sync. Now, Andriachi, surrounded by two, gives it to LeBron, fakes and dribbles her way over. Now it's Eichner on the other side. Barone driving into the lane, and they call a bump and a foul. And you perhaps saw the official there imitate what they say happened, sliding in front of the driver, bumping Barone and bringing her to the line. Too strong on the first. Barone, a 74% free throw shooter, the sophomore. That's the second. 20-point lead, Golden Eagles. Griffins, do they have a renewed energy? Do they have a renewed vision? That another pass out of sync, this time between Ing Stewart and Terrio. Terrio looking for a backdoor cut. Ing Stewart passing it to the wing. Yet another turnover for the Griffins. Bench trying to bring some energy for the defensive unit here. Eichner at the top. To the wing, to the corner. Now it's Andriachi down low. LeBron tries one from three. That rattles out, but Barone with yet another offensive rebound. Surrounded by two, but squeezes her way through, gets her own miss, and cleans it up. Two more for Barone, as the Griffins couldn't stop her down low. Now, Terrio making her move, finding Coughlin in the corner. Can she answer from three? That's a little too short, but Dortch is there for the rebound. And after a tip, it stays with the Griffins. Moore entering the game for Dortch. So the Griffins going with a smaller lineup here. Perhaps counterintuitive if you're trying to rebound better, but all of these players can jump and get that board, as Ing Stewart too strong on the three-point attempt. Griffins still struggling from deep as they now enter their own zone defense. Not allowing that interior pass. Can the Golden Eagles break through the zone? Only 6 seconds left on the shot clock. They have to do something. Andriachi pulls the trigger. That rattles out, and it's Moore with the rebound, and she's pushing it. This is how they want to play, but Golden Eagles recover. No transition points for the Griffins. Hudson, jab step, spins, whips it over, finds Coughlin, who hits the baseline, inside pass to Terrio. Beautiful offense from the Griffins, as that shot will almost always be money for Terrio, the short jumper. As the Griffins pass their way through the zone. Now Barone driving and getting an and one call, as Moore is called for the crime, bumping her during the layup process. Barone, who just split the pair earlier this quarter, drains the bonus. 23-point lead for the Golden Eagles. Terrio on the wing. Now to Moore. Coughlin tries an inside pass to Terrio. It arrives somehow. Dump off to Hudson, and that's good offense again. The Griffins clearly making some adjustments in halftime, passing their way through the zone now. Full court press. Andriachi finds LeBron. He finds Larby. Bench encouraging the Griffins. Can they bring some energy into the game? Golden Eagles spending a lot of time on this possession. Want to milk this clock. Only 7 seconds left on the shot clock. They're going to have to heave something up, but the cut to Barone is their answer as the screen freed her up with the dime from Eichner. And jump stop from Jersana Moore. Nice move, but outside to Hudson now, who tries her own move. Seemingly got slapped. Refs say it's all good, and after a LeBron ricochet, Griffins retain possession. Cross-court pass, Terrio. Surveying her options. Now back to Moore, who drives hard. Finds that inside pass to Terrio, who goes for the little bunny, and that's money. Griffins now scoring on 3 consecutive possessions. Finding their offense again. But can they stop the Golden Eagles? 21-point game. Moore on Eichner. Hudson on Barone. And they call Ing Stewart on the interior pass to Barone. But since the Golden Eagles aren't in the bonus yet, only 3 team fouls so far this quarter, they'll be inbounds under the basket. Eichner fakes the 3, tries a midi instead, but it's blocked from behind, and the Griffins are pushing it. Home run pass somehow doesn't arrive at Terrio. Usually the Griffins so adept at hitting those fast breaks and finding a way for those long passes to arrive at their intended receiver. That one doesn't get there though. This remains a 21-point game. Larby on the wing. Now they're back to a person-to-person defense. LeBron way off. Coughlin, rebound, pushing. Hudson on the wing. They slow things down. Then they pass their way through this zone again. Terrio dribbles, tries to find Ing Stewart down low. The pass had a bit too much zip on that. Ing Stewart battling with her defender down low. Couldn't corral it. Turnover Griffins. Griffins keeping up this pressure in the full court. Hasn't resulted in a turnover yet this quarter, as Madison enters the game for Coughlin. Madison gets called on the contact. And that's the 4th team foul, so that's not free throws yet, but every foul here on out will result in free throws for the Golden Eagles. Griffins have to play clean defense, but they also need a stop. Barone on the wing. Looking for an inside pass, it's not there. Eichner swings it to Andriachi. Now the inside pass attempt is there, but there's a scramble for the ball. It's Madison. She grabs it, keeps hold of it, and forces the jump ball. It'll stay with the Golden Eagles, but that forced jump ball might prove important later. As Spinopoulos enters the game for Moore. Still a relatively small lineup for the Griffins. But Spinopoulos, as I mentioned before, an effective rebounder for her size. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Do they know it? They try the inside pass. Larby has to go, but they call out an absolute bailout foul as Spinopoulos went for the poke. And with 2 seconds left and the Golden Eagles in the bonus, they go to the free throw line, even though it looked like they had nothing going. And we will take a timeout a 30-second timeout. Players will remain standing. The mopping crew will do their duties before these 2 free throws, and the cheerleaders will do their routine. This is the first time the cheerleaders are back on campus, as students are back on campus. All prior January games so far have been without students here on campus, without that extra support. You can see a well-attended game for a historic Sarah Lawrence women's basketball team. With the Spirit crew back too, and signs left and right, but probably not the score they wanted to see at this point, as Larby will head to the free throw line. Larby, known for her rebounding. Drains the first. A 28% free throw shooter. Tries to make 2 here. And does. Nothing but net on the second. This is now a 23-point game. Spinopoulos surveying her options. Finds Ing Stewart down low, surrounded by 2. And a foul is called on Barone for a reach. That's only their first foul of the quarter. More than 6 minutes in. Ing Stewart out on the top of the key. Important 3-pointer somehow doesn't go. And it's Andriacci with the rebound now. Eichner pushing the pace, and they're slowing it back down. Vitali on the wing. Nothing falling for the Griffins so far. Even from some usually serviceable, yes, and great defense. Good ball pressure there from Jasana Moore, forcing Eichner to pick up the ball and to travel in the process. Important turnover. The Griffins have an opportunity to cut into this lead now. Terrio out to Madison. Thought about a shot. Instead, passes to Ing Stewart. Surrounded by 2. Madison back to Ing Stewart. They have to take a shot. Ing Stewart does. That doesn't reach anything, though. And it'll be Golden Eagles ball. As clearly the Golden Eagles will give up that 3-pointer, leaving Griffins relatively open from deep, daring them to shoot it. Instead, choosing to pack the paint and making those paint points difficult. It's proving effective so far for the Golden Eagles as Eichner gets a screen, midi jumper. That's way too strong, and Terrio on the rebound. Quick whip of a pass. That's what she likes to do, and Joshana Moore feels comfortable in the fast break as she gets a lay. The birthday girl, Joshana Moore. Important 2 points for the Griffins. With her family coming all the way from Georgia, sitting in the front row to support the impressive freshman who is as professional as they come and effective there for 2 points. Now Andriacci tries to drive. It seems like an offensive foul, and it is an offensive foul. Well done by Sarah Terrio, absorbing that contact. And she could see Andriacci driving down the lane with only 1 goal in mind. Full steam ahead. And the Griffins force another turnover, but they need points, and they need it quick. Madison, corner 3. She likes to shoot it. Somehow that doesn't go in. And Larby now on the floor, but there's more as well. And that earlier jump ball forced by Madison now proving fruitful as the Griffins will retain possession under the basket as they stack up at the elbow. Spread out. Moore tries to find Madison, but can't. And then Vitali. Nope. For a sec there, it seemed like it might have called it Griffin's way after all, but no, it stays with the Golden Eagles here. Eichner dribbling it up with more honor. And in what they call more on the foul for, I'll be honest with you, I have absolutely no idea. I'm genuinely trying to stay neutral here, but I didn't see any contact from Moore. Moore had 2 hands up. You're not allowed to have 2 hands on the player. Called her on blocking foul, but she's entitled to her defensive position. Anyways, the refs say there was too much contact. Eichner to the line, and she makes the first. Those can be tough calls, as Moore definitely was pressuring the ball. Eichner drains both. Coughlin to Madison. Coughlin drives, dumps it off to Staten, who goes up, and they don't call anything. It's Terrio down low. But after this jump ball, it'll go to the Golden Eagles. Full court pressure from the Griffins. They need something, and they need something now. They need a stop to just end the bleeding. Eichner at the top, waiting for teammates to go in motion, but goes herself instead. That layup too strong, but Williams is there on the rebound. Gets it back out to Eichner and a new shot clock, and they will milk it. They know that if they play slow, and Ing Stewart with some ball pressure, making it difficult. Now Vitali, does she have the bailout? No, she doesn't. Madison with the rebound. Griffins get an important stop, but it's less than a minute left in this third quarter already. They need to start cutting into this lead to make a comeback. Here is Ing Stewart at the top, gets a screen from Staten. Madison doesn't take the three-pointer. Instead, it's Terrio who gives it back up to Madison and Coughlin. She'll try one from deep. That wedges in between the basket and the rim. And on the rebound, they call Della Porta on the foul. Griffins with a little bit of a break here as they retain possession under the basket with less than 30 seconds left in the third quarter. Coughlin to inbound as the Griffins spread out, but they do so slowly, and Terrio somehow keeps that inbounds as she drives, looks for the inside pass, and it's a kick. And the Griffins will inbound under the basket once again. Coughlin this time, set to inbound. Griffins stack up at the elbow. They spread out looking for that low pass, and it's a foul immediately from Williams. And she was holding on to Terrio. That's their fourth team foul. So now the Griffins are in the bonus, but it's a little late. Only 24 seconds left in this third quarter. Coughlin finds Terrio again. She's gonna make her move. Instead, she whips it to Coughlin, who drives, goes for the little jumper. There's a block there, but Ing Stewart picks up the pieces and puts it right in. 12 seconds left. Golden Eagles are not in a rush. They want to take that last shot of the quarter, though. 21-point game. 5 seconds left. You know she's going to launch it, and that's way short, and that'll end the third. Sarah Lawrence Griffins finding some offense this quarter as they ended the half with 9 points, but still they were probably hoping for more than 12 points in the third quarter, as the lead for the Golden Eagles is 21. So 12 points a quarter will not cut it. But as we have seen in previous occasions, the Griffins at times can score at will. They can push the pace. They can find their way through defenses. The shots haven't been falling so far, but they might in the fourth. Before the game, I spoke to Golden Eagles coach Kerry Connolly. It's his 5th season as a coach of the Golden Eagles. And he said what he liked about his team is that they play hard, they rebound well, and their defense is stifling. And that's exactly what we've seen today. The Golden Eagles have played hard every single minute, even if they do occasionally slow things down to milk the shot clock. But they play hard down low. They set screens for each other. They play through contact. But mostly they've been rebounding like it's nobody's business. Although in that quarter, the Griffins did a much better job of rebounding the ball. Rebounding deficit only down to 1 now, as it was 6 at the half. Now Ing Stewart with some pressure on Eichner. Eichner having trouble to find an avenue, finds Larby on the wing with Staten Honor. Griffins clearly upping the pressure in this final quarter, but the inside cut working once again for the Golden Eagles as Larby cut to the rim, receives the outside-inside pass, and lays it up and in. Now Ing Stewart, can she respond? She cuts through 2 defenders, and she does respond. Tough basket. Says, I don't care how many players you have in the paint. I'll cut right through it. Now Ing Stewart with pressure on Eichner. Trying to make her feel a bit uncomfortable. But Eichner does take care of the ball, and she takes care of it well. LeBron at the top to Eichner. Trying that inside pass, but Saratero is there, and they call her on the entry pass foul. And she was reaching over, trying to deny the pass. Instead, a foul. Her second foul of the game. 9 minutes left. Larby hands it off to Eichner. Gives it up to LeBron, and she shoots one from 3. That's too strong. Staten's there for the rebound. It's a tussle. Somehow Larby ends up with it. She dumps it off to Andriacci, who's out of bounds. And it's Griffin's ball. Griffins need some points, and they need it quick. Inside pass to Terrio, out to Hudson, who tries one from deep. That's too short, and it hits the shot clock, which is an automatic turnover. Ball goes to the Golden Eagles. They're trying a different type of full court press here. Now it's Madison on Andriacci, the senior. She dribbles it across half court. Larby on the wing. Eichner to Williams. Hudson, Madison now on Andriacci, who tries a drive, kicks it, pass to LeBron, who tries yet another 3, and that one does go. If you shoot enough, eventually it'll fall. That one going for LeBron. And they extend the lead to 24. Ing Stewart trying to respond. That's too strong, though. Eichner wanting to push the pace to make it even worse for the Griffins, but they pull it back out. Williams with Staten Honor. Andriacci. Eichner uses the screen, but Ing Stewart's all over it, but nobody's over at Larby for the easy dump off. And you can tell the Golden Eagles are excited as they are getting comfortable in this fourth quarter. Up by 26. And the Griffins haven't even reached the 26-point mark. The defense proving stifling. As there's smiles all around for the Golden Eagles. Coach Rather wanting to keep the standards high and not letting this game fade away into the abyss. A comeback at this point would be difficult. But if there is an offense that could do it, you might put your money on the Griffins, or at least you would before tonight. And none of the shots falling, as the Griffins are 1 out of 18 from three-point land. Even a handful of those falling would cut into this lead mightily. Griffins also simply turning the ball over too much compared to the Golden Eagles. Griffins have turned the ball over 19 times. Golden Eagles 10. What has Coach Rather drawn up? Moore on the outside. Dribble, drive through a lot of defenders, and they call it jump ball as Andriachi got her hands in there. Two players possess the ball at the same time. This time the possession arrow favors the Griffins. Moore to inbound, all the way out to Ing Stewart on the rainbow from Moore. Hudson trying her luck in the paint. Dump off pass to Ing Stewart. And after it ricochets off of a Golden Eagle knee, it's Moore once again under the basket to inbound. Finds Hudson, who immediately is surrounded by two Golden Eagles defenders, and she loses the ball. Pressure proving too much. Now it's LeBron, inside pass to Larby, who is feeling herself, and that one banks home for the freshman, who is now at 12 points in the game. Cross-court pass to Madison, now to Moore, all the way back to Hudson. As she penetrates the paint, picks it up, finds Madison again, who tries a long two. Madison can shoot it, but that didn't go as planned. 28-point game. Moore on Eichner. Some extra ball pressure. 10 seconds on the shot clock. LeBron out to Williams, who tries a long two. That's too strong, but once again, the Golden Eagles are there to rebound, and they'll pull it back out and take as much time as they can. They are happy if this clock just hits 0 at this point. But inside pass, Larby to work again, and she gets called for a foul. Terrio gets called for that foul. Larby gets the bucket and the extra fine to go with it. Bonus free throws. As the Griffins are down 30. And Larby trying to complete the three-point play. Too strong on the rebound. Kendall Stevens with a strong rebound of her own. Too strong on the shot, rather. Moore out to Spanopoulos. Inside, outside passing, but where's the lane? Where can they find an avenue of attack resulting in a bucket? Andriachi pushes Hudson. Gets called on the foul. Griffins will inbound. That's her third personal foul. No players really in foul trouble here. Moore trying to drive. Steps through. Tough move, but again, the rim just not cooperating today. But on the rebound, now it's the Griffins' turn for an offensive rebound, as Kendall Stevens was there for the board. And she gets fouled immediately. So the Griffins, another chance, as Andriachi now has 4 personal fouls. Hudson tries a short jumper, and that's just been the story of the night. Even the shots that usually fall for the Griffins, Hudson, who's first in the conference for points a game for short jump shots, just like the one we saw right there, is just not getting any to fall today. And on the other end, Barone going for the layup, gets bumped by Kayla Dortch. her third personal. And the Golden Eagles find themselves at the free throw line once again. First shot from Barone is pure. And the second also goes down the rabbit hole. Lead now ballooned to 32. With less than 5 minutes left in the game. Griffins. Cross-court pass to Moore. Drive, left-handed scoop, nice touch. Put some extra English on that one. And finally the rim says yes. That's a good bounce that time. A nice drive-in score for Jasana Moore. Now it's LeBron trying to drive of her own, picks it up, but she's immediately swarmed out to Vitali. It wouldn't, right? Of course. Nothing but net on that three-point attempt from Vitali. Answering right back. Moore. Trying her luck again. Out to Hudson. And even though this game is starting to be out of reach, Spanopoulos tried the entry pass to Stevens, but Larby was there to claim the passing lane. You still hope as a Sarah Lawrence fan and as a team, you want to end on a high note, show that you have some life, and Kayla Dortch can't quite keep that one in bounds. Don't want to just let this game fade away. Because every season we'll have at least one game like this where things just don't fall your way, don't go your way, where the other team perhaps prepared well and had the right adjustments. The season is a marathon, not a sprint. This one game, though unfortunate for the Griffins, will not yet endanger them from missing the playoffs. As Spanopoulos drains a three to give back some energy, to lift the spirits a bit in this building. This is the first game back after students returned to campus. It's not proved to be the Griffins' best. But as I was saying, a season is a marathon, not a sprint. Griffins with plenty of time and plenty of opponents to beat, still in prime position to make the playoffs and to host the playoffs, as they were 2 games ahead of the 5 seed and the 6 seed. Obviously, this doesn't help. I think the bigger question is whether or not the Golden Eagles have figured out the Griffins and their offense, figured out a way to effectively stop the Griffins, or if this is just also, dare I say, a bit of a fluke with things just not going Griffins' way. One thing is sure, the Golden Eagles had a game plan. They executed it well. They rebounded very well, crashing the offensive boards. And their defense has not made anything easy for the Griffins. Griffins, for the first time, struggling to score, and are yet to hit 29 points. And Just as a point of reference, there was a game this season where the freshman Sarah Terrio had 29 points all by herself. As there's a little more than 2 minutes left in this fourth quarter, 30-point game. Well and truly out of the Griffins' hands at this point, but what can they do? Well, Staten, it's called on the foul. As Delaporte went up, and she'll get 2 free throws. 2 freshmen battling it out there. Delaporte, a 64% free throw shooter. Doesn't convert the first. Splits the pair as Perry Yoon enters the game for the Griffins. We have some new faces for St. Joe, Long Island as well. We have Alexa Carmody, freshman, number 13, and Alexandra Madrigal, number 2. They're at the top in this zone defense now. Joshana Moore poking and prodding, trying to find that entry pass to Darby Staten maybe. Now it's Perry Yoon who finds Kendall Stevens, and she tries to move out to Joshana Moore, who attacks the paint. Out to Stevens. Maybe jump shot. Scramble for the rebound. Everybody's there. Moore is there for the Griffins, but surrounded by Golden Eagles. The result is a jump ball. Number 32, Sarah Hansen, the 5'11" sophomore, also entered the game for the Golden Eagles. And Megan Erdman, 5'9" freshman, number 14, to round things out for the Eagles. So some fresh faces, getting some minutes. It's still the same style of offense as Staten. Effective defense, a stone wall. And she will not let the Eagle pass. Joshana Moore picking up her dribble, needs some help. Just about finds some help from Spinopoulos, who tries a three-pointer, just made one. That one doesn't go, but Stevens making it difficult, and then there's a collision as Perry Yoon was battling for that rebound. And Megan Erdman was there too, and they collided. And the trainer for the Griffins is thankfully immediately there. It seemed that Yoon was grabbing towards her head. But she gets up on her own strength, and there's applause all around. Perry Yoon, a tough player. Even down by more than 30 and less than a minute to go, she's battling for every possession. That battle there resulting in a collision. I hope she's okay. She's being attended by the trainer, but it's always a good sign if a player can get up on their own strength. Inside pass to Stevens. Can she get a bucket? Yes. As the Griffins hit 30 points on the game, which, let's be honest, looks just a bit better than having a 2 in front. Less than 30 seconds left. About a 7-second difference between game clock and shot clock, so we'll probably see one more shot here from the Golden Eagles. We do, and Madeline Moore, who just entered the game, and Audrey Madison on the other side pulls things out. Madeline Moore, number 10, got the rebound and the outlet. Now 4 seconds left, and she tries one and doesn't quite go. You could tell the crowd wanted that one. And the game will end. Sarah Lawrence Griffins 30, St. Joe Long Island 59. Not the score that pretty much anyone expected today, not even St. Joe Long Island fans, probably. But as I mentioned before, the defense from the Golden Eagles and the rebounding proving too much for the Griffins today. The Griffins couldn't quite get their shots to fall, as they will likely want to forget this one as quickly as possible. Griffins still in the playoff position. They split their series with St. Joe Long Island as they won the first game away. Usually don't see that, 2 away wins, but that's the case here. Next up, the Griffins will play on Saturday against Mount St. Mary, who currently hold, I believe, the 3 seed. So it'll be another tough matchup here in Campbell Sports Center. Hopefully they can redeem themselves a little bit and find their offense again, find their flow again. But who knows? Maybe this is the wake-up call that they needed. Maybe this is that moment in the season after a historic run where you hit reality. You have to contend with the fact that you're not invincible. And you meet opponents that change their approach, adapt to you. And now it's about how the Griffins can respond. So, anyways, it was a pleasure spending your evening here in Campbell Sports Center. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Pete Marston, and I will see you on Saturday.